Hi, today we're going to learn about phrasal verbs. First of all, what is a phrasal verb? Then we're going to go over how to split up a phrasal verb. Those are the separable phrasal verbs. Then we're going to check some of the inseparable phrasal verbs. These are phrasal verbs that are never split up. And finally, some examples of phrasal verbs for different contexts. Okay, first of all, what is a phrasal verb? Well, phrasal verbs are idiomatic expressions or idiomatic phrases that consist of a verb and another element. This can be an adverb or a preposition, but in some cases, we can have a combination of both. Phrasal verbs with prepositions are, for example, look after. Look is a verb, after is a preposition. We also have phrasal verbs that use adverbs. For example, go away. And there are some other phrasal verbs that use adverbs and prepositions. These are called three-word verbs. For example, look out for. Let's take a look at what are separable two-word verbs. A separable two-word verb or a separable phrasal verb can be separated by an object. Remember, an object goes after the verb. For example, I put on my shoes. In this case, my shoes is the object. We need to remember that if the object is a noun, we have two possibilities to have our sentence, okay? We can say, I put on my shoes, or I put my shoes on. As you can see in the first sentence, the phrasal verb is together. In the second sentence, the phrasal verb is separated. The verb is here, the preposition is here. And in the middle, we have the noun. But what happens if I want to replace the noun with a pronoun? Then in that case, the only possible answer or the only possible way to do it is to separate the verb. For example, I took them off. It's incorrect to say I took of them. Examples of separable two-word verbs are put away. This is to save or store. Put off, which is to postpone. Put on. Put out. And read over. These are only examples. And remember, these are not the only ones. We can have many. Now, inseparable phrasal verbs are also known as two- and three-word verbs. Inseparable phrasal verbs cannot be separated by an object. They always go together. An example of this is run into. I ran into him. It's incorrect to say I ran him into. Is there a rule for this? No, there isn't a rule. Some inseparable phrasal verbs are, for example, back out of, come across, come down with, face up to, get around, get in, go over, hang around, hear of, keep up with, look after, and look forward to. As you can see, some of these inseparable phrasal verbs have 3 words and some have 2 words. All of these are always together. We never separate this. Finally, we have phrasal verbs for different contexts and for different situations. These are only examples. Phrasal verbs for shopping. To shop around. To try something on. To put on. To take something back. To do up. To dress up. To pick out. Phrasal verbs related to technology. Cut off, get through, hang on, hang up, call back, pick up, put through, speak up, break up, hold on. Notice that in this case we have some verbs that are the same. For example, hang, but the preposition is different. A different preposition changes the meaning. Or the same preposition with different verbs. Like get through and put through. Different verb, different meaning. Environment phrasal verbs. These are phrasal verbs related to nature. Wipe out, run out of, cut down, throw away, die out, use up. These are some family phrasal verbs. Be named after, get along or get on with, get together, grow up, look after, look up to, split up, take after. These are some love-related phrasal verbs. Check somebody out, chat somebody up, ask somebody out, turn somebody on, fall for somebody, go out with somebody, break up with somebody, get back with somebody. An idiom is different from a phrasal verb because an idiom is more like a refrán. Okay? For example, have a thing for somebody, love at first sight, pop the question, tie the knot, fall head over heels in love, be made for each other, be in the dog house, or be on the rocks. These are not phrasal verbs. These are only idioms or expressions. These ones are phrasal verbs. Remember that a phrasal verb is a colloquial expression and that we can use them in present, in past, in future, or in any tense that we want and we need it for. Thank you very much for your attention.